Yo, this was not the download that I expected to get for this full moon in Scorpio. So I'm gonna need y'all to just let a bitch cook for a minute. Um, Grab your essentials, get pauses, get the things that you need, because we're gonna go somewhere I didn't expect to go. Um, this is gonna require a shift, a change, an elevation, a rewiring of my vocabulary as well. So I just want to go ahead and clear out any funky ass energy. Welcome in my benevolent ancestors, Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth. Thank you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for this full moon in Scorpio that we are having on May 12th. Hydrate, light it if you need it. Whew. Happening on May 12th at 12:56 p.m. Eastern Time, 10:56 a.m. Mountain Time, and it's happening at 22 degrees Scorpio. Okay, we will, I hit you with the handy dandy. Anyway, you can't release. Okay, you know how we talk about full moons are periods of release, right? And the new moon is when you plant seeds and set intentions and manifest. The full moon is when you release and you reap the harvest of the seeds that were planted in the new moon, right? You can't release nothing that hasn't been processed. You can't release nothing that hasn't been integrated. It's just going to sit there until you do your work. It's going to sit there until you do your shadow work, until you do your light work, until you do the part that you need to do, until you do what is required of you to peel back the layers and extract the data from the darkness. You can't release nothing you haven't processed and integrated. And how it came to me was actually by way of a visual of the digestive tract, like digestion. And it makes sense because Scorpio doesn't rule the intestines, but they do rule the reproductive organs. Um, and there's like a grossness to that level of humanity, you know what I mean? That level of like existence, like when things like scabs and healing and whenever you get a cut somewhere, the process of healing, like humanity can be gross, right? And so there's something about like what is required for you to have a physical release, for you to have a bowel movement, for you to literally physically release something from your body. You have to consume something, you have to digest it. The nutrients from what you ate has to be absorbed. So that's the whole point of eating, right? Is so that your body can absorb nutrients. So it has to digest, aka be processed, and then the nutrients has to be absorbed, aka integration. Then you can shit. I'm sorry, I didn't expect it to go there, but that's where we're at. So that's how it came. Then you can release after you have had that process of absorption. It takes a while for your digestive, for your intestines, for your digestive tract to even make something for you to release, you know? That just doesn't happen overnight. I'm so sorry. I'm so sad that my dread broke. It happened a while ago, but it was down to my shin and I needed to let this go. I say that to say this. We need to extend ourselves a hefty helping of grace when it comes to releasing shit. not physical shit, but releasing in general. Whatever comes up, whatever that needs to be released, whatever emotions, whatever pain, whatever wounds that are trying to be churned into wisdom. That doesn't happen on everybody's on the same cycle. That doesn't happen at the same time for everyone. Just because we're in the phase of releasing doesn't mean that like that you've absorbed the nutrients. Doesn't mean that the shit has been formed for you to release it. You feel me? So there's something here about just because you need to release it, just because that you need to release it doesn't mean that you can quite yet. God. Okay, just to stay with the analogy, unless you take a laxative and fuck up your digestion for the next like week and a half, 2 weeks, however sensitive y'all's, parts are. Forcing yourself to release something that you haven't integrated or extracted the data from the darkness yet, you haven't absorbed the nutrients from what you've consumed yet, I feel like that can be a dangerous game. It can be dangerous for your physical body and your spiritual and emotional body. And so, yeah, I feel like when it's time to release, when it's time to let it go, you won't help but be able to. Like, when you got to drop a deuce, like you got pull over, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no denying when your body, when your spirit as well is ready to release something. You can't avoid it. And I feel like we, as the spiritual community has been pushing us to just release and let it go and blah, blah, but that shit is so much easier said than done. And just because the moon is in a phase of just because the moon is in the phase of release doesn't mean that you've fully absorbed the nutrients, like that you've gotten the message, that you've gotten the memo, that you've integrated. Because that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you're going through the process, but it's the integration that really matters. Because we'll keep doing the same thing, making the same mistake with a different face until you integrate. Because you can know something without integrating it into your actual behaviors, right? Just like, for instance, like I know that my body likes 9 to 10 hours of sleep. Doesn't mean I don't fuck around and give it 6 to 8. You know what I mean? Hours. Like, knowing something is very, very different from integrating that wisdom, that knowledge into your behaviors. And when it's integrated, I don't feel like it's something that you necessarily have to actively do. It's just like, this is what we do. This is what we know. This is how we behave because of what we know. One of my mom's best friends, back in the day, who turned out to not be that great of a friend to her, gave me this little like plaque, and I'll just never forget it, because it was like a birthday present, and I'm like, why the fuck did you give this to me for my birthday? Like, this is so weird. But it was this little plaque, and it says, why do I do what I do when I know what I know? And that has stayed with me for so long. It'll stay with me for the rest of my life, that quote, and I love that. But why do I do what I do when I know what I know? Because the knowing hasn't been integrated into the doing. And it took me a long time to be able to answer that question. She gave me that when I was like maybe like 16, like 15, 16, like young. And in my late 30s now, like It took a minute. I'm an Aries, I'm hard-headed. Um, so please extend yourself some grace because yeah, we may have been like release it, let it go, let it go, let it go, but how can you let it go if you haven't gotten what you needed out of it yet? Your trauma responses have probably like saved your life in some sort of way. Your trauma has kept you from immense amounts of pain. Your trauma has kept you safe in some sort of way. And until you're ready to, until your spirit releases it, until you keep doing the work, you keep doing the work, you keep peeling back the layers and peeling back the layers. And one day it's just going to be like, that doesn't hurt anymore. What's that Kanye song? It doesn't hurt anymore. I feel kind of free. We're not the kids we used to be. Just one day it won't hurt. One day you won't have to release it. And I feel like that's the same. That's actually how that's supposed to go. I don't feel like releasing it is something we are actively supposed to be doing. It'll just go. So if you're pounding your head of why can't I let this go? Why can't I learn this lesson? Why can't stop? Just let it be for a minute. Just live your life. Let life happen. Do your part to unpack the layers. Do your part to, like look at it. But when you gotta shit, you gotta shit. And when it comes out, it comes out. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry. I don't know why God gave it to me like this. I'm so sorry, but that's the word. All right. So this full moon is happening at 22 degrees Scorpio. And like I said, I'm gonna hit you with the handy dandy inside degrees by Elias Lonsdale. And we are looking for the 22nd degree. 22nd is in 22 is a number of mastery. So I feel like, and okay, so full moons release Scorpio, I desire, on a very basic level in some sort of way for a lot of us who are ready to have let go of something like, and I feel like with the astrological aspects that are, hitting this full moon, some of us may experience things that like, bam, gone, let it go. The sensation to shit has come and I have released this. I have released it. It's gone. Some of us are a little bit more hard-headed than others, and like we need a little bit of a tower moment, or we need a little bit of, a lightning bolt to hit in order to release what needs to be released. But either way, it's not on your timing, is my point. All you got to focus on is doing the work to like look at it. Oh God, this one's long. And so make sure you have made room in the house of your heart. Make sure that you have done the proper purging. That you've gotten rid of the things that you already know, that you willingly like, oh, yep, can get rid of that. It's easy to get rid of that. Easy to purge this. Easy to let. There are some things that you need, that you already are able to just let go. You are ready to release and make room. Because this is an event where we're going to have to get real clear on what it is that we desire. So we can transmute those desires, Scorpio, into our possessions, Taurus, which is the whole point of this axis, of the zodiacal axis of Taurus and Scorpio, at least in my opinion. Taurus I have, Scorpio I desire. Taurus value. What do I value? Let me assess what it is that I have so I can get rid of shit, so I can purge, and then get real honest and brutally honest with myself about what it is that I want so I can transmute those desires back into that Taurus energy, into my possessions, into what I have. So that's like that ping pong, you know? All right. Hydrate. All right, Elias Lansdale's description of the 22nd degree of Scorpio is a rug woven out of rags. You take everything you experience in all its roughage, just as it is, and you form a vessel that is hardy and strong and enduring, and you put all of yourself into it. You leave nothing out. With fervor and intent, you put in there all the darkness and every difficult emotion you have got. For you are the quintessential example of what it has been like around here and how it feels. The collective karmas choose carefully those who can merge with what everybody is going through and by sheer gut take it further, perhaps towards mutual. Okay, let me start that sentence again. The collective karmas, I was like, I know that word, but I haven't seen that written out like that in a minute. That stopped me. The collective karmas choose carefully those who can merge with what everybody is going through and by sheer guts take it further, perhaps towards mutational breakthrough. Interesting. To qualify, you have to grind yourself into bits with rude honesty, even at your own expense. But this is how it is. No shortcuts, no easy answers. Emotionally, this is the depth experience at its most intense. But there is an evolutionary drive of overwhelming power pushing you through the worst. And along this pathway, you will definitely find out what you are made of and what has been stopping everybody, and whether you have it in you and whether you have it in you to start things off again in a different direction in the earth crucible with no place to hide. Damn. That feels like being fucking like stripped down bare naked, which can often be what is required for us to be honest about what it is that we want, what it is that we need, what it is that we desire. And I feel like the divine has brought very specific people in your life to expose you to aspects of yourself that you would have never had access to had you not linked up with this person. And just because this person's in your life doesn't mean that it's permanent. There's something about understanding like, yo, we agreed in the ether, we agreed in the spirit realm that we would fucking make each other great, even if it's required for us to shred each other. I love you so much that I will fuck you up so that you can become the greatest version of yourself and accomplish your soul's mission in this incarnation. Woo! And what a lot of us don't understand is just like the depth of love it takes to do that. Our conscious mind doesn't understand the depth of the soul contracts that we've the agreements that we've made with other souls. And we often want to demonize people and like blame them that they couldn't show up or give us what it is that we wanted, or they couldn't be who we wanted when we wanted. But oh, the gift of hindsight. And come through Garth Brooks. Thank God for unanswered prayer. You know how many times you prayed for something that would have been your demise? That had you gotten what you prayed for, had you gotten what you asked God for, you'd have been sliding down a wall, crying somewhere. And along this pathway, you will definitely find out what you are made of and what has been stopping everybody, and whether you have it in you to start off again in a different direction in the earth crucible with no place to hide. What was that sentence before? Oh, okay. The collective karmas choose carefully those who can merge with what everybody is going through and by sheer guts take it further, perhaps towards mutational breakthrough. There's something there. He cooked on that one. Mutational breakthrough. So some of our breakthroughs require us to mutate, to become maybe like metamorphosis, the process of metamorphosis, which is scorpionic. It looks gross sometimes. A metamorphosis to us, a mutation can be like, ew, what is that? Foreign, ew, ugly. But it's a breakthrough. You may turn your nose up. Some of us may turn our nose up at the breakthrough that's coming because it's mutated you or it's mutated another person. Which is why Scorpio is the judgment card. What are we casting judgment on that we don't know is actually really, really good for us? So, for this reading and for the rest of the full moon readings in my life, I'm really going to do my part to not ask what needs to be released. What do we need to be processing is the question. When it needs to be released, we'll get the sensation to release it. It will come out. But for now, for our greatest and highest good, please show us, what do we need to focus on processing? During this full moon in Scorpio, May 12th, 2025. Wow. The King of Swords reversed. What we need to, for some of us, we need to process what we've been going through with that person with Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius placements. We need to process what we've been going through with that person who is cold or hardened or stern or stoic or fucking mean. Some of us have swords in our heart that were placed there by way of someone's words. And you thought that they were mean, and you thought that they broke your heart when it actually was intended to break you open. Because that person was a soulmate as well. That connection was a soulmate as well. And it needed to cause a breakdown. It needed to cause a catastrophe. It needed to break you apart so you could learn how to rebuild, and so that you could connect with people who are masterful, more masterful than you in the rebuild, so that you could go back to the drawing board and truly figure out what the blueprint is, what you want the blueprint for your future to look like, so that you can petition the divine for that. But another level of mastery is also understanding, hey, I'm here to receive. Enlighten me, make plain to me what is the plan. Show me what the blueprint is. And in what ways do I need to get structured and disciplined, and give me the plan so I can stick to it. Please clarify that King of Swords reverse. I also feel like there's just people in your life, like, what are we needing to process right now? There are people in your life who aren't like falling in line, who don't like do what you want them to do. Like that something is not unfolding the way that you want it to unfold. I also feel like what needs to be processed is the ways that we've been mean to ourselves. The ways that you are cold, the ways that you are mean, the ways that you are stoic, the ways that you're mean to yourself, cold to yourself, like bullying yourself, savage with yourself. This is about our internal talk, which is a reflection of our value. Your internal talk is a reflection, a direct reflection of your self-worth. Are you able to like give yourself some grace? Are you able to like, whoa, 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 calm down? That was too harsh. Are you able to pull it back? Are you able to, you know, self-soothe? Are you able to acknowledge when you're being a bully to yourself and you're being mean to yourself? Are you able to forgive yourself for not having all the information? Are you able to really be honest with yourself about what it is that you want, especially in the face of somebody not giving you that? Some of us want something from someone and they cannot give it to us right now, if ever. And that's a part of the plan. I feel like your little baby souls came together and was like, I will give you this gift. I will give you this gift of pain. I will give you this gift of denial. I will give you this gift of non-mutuality. You're going to view it as me hurting you, but this is an actual gift that I'm giving you, because it's going to set you on a course towards your particular brand of greatness. Please clarify that King of Swords reversed. I also feel like what needs to be processed is our relationship to structure, discipline, our relationship to how we use our words, the power of your analytical mind. What needs to be processed is the fact that your logic is different from somebody else's logic. And that's healthy. That's on purpose. Please clarify the cues. And it's almost like something, it's like teaching you how to stand up for yourself. Someone is helping you teach, someone's opposition, someone opposing you, you feeling attacked in some sort of way, you feeling neglected, you feeling unseen, underappreciated or taken for granted. It's teaching you how to stand up for yourself. It's teaching you what your values are. It's teaching you how to stand up for what's right. It's teaching you to stand up for the underdog within you. It's showing you the ground that you're on. It's revealing to you that you've gained a much higher ground than you realize. And now the name of the game is maintaining that high ground. And understanding that these people that are opposing you in some sort of way, they're opposing you from below. So we may have pedestalized. We may have put someone on a pedestal that ain't even on our level. Oop, that's tea for someone. Some of us may have put someone on a pedal and are fighting nails like tooth and nail for some shit that ain't even your equivalent, that ain't even your equal. I just heard like they could never. Please continue to clarify that King of Swords reversed. And this all is happening to get us to do some emotional inventory. What's been going on the last 9-10 months? This spiritual, emotional cycle is going to require us to do some intense emotional and spiritual inventory so we can close that chapter and make ourselves really fucking proud. Look at this like this is somebody that's proud of themselves. Look at me, my motherfucking cups. This is someone who has put the last cycle behind them. They've done the deep dive into their subconscious mind. And there's something about you getting very comfortable, proud of yourself, content with yourself and who you are and what it is that you want. And everybody wants that 10 of cups, but you got to get masterful in the 9 of cups before you know what to do with the 10. There's a certain proficiency that's required in like your self-awareness. You need to know the fullness of who you are. And you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I personally prefer to have my shit together before I enter a relationship. And a lot of people are like, no, you don't need to heal. You'll heal in relationship and yada, yada. That's true. But there's a different kind of healing that will happen whenever you've initiated a lot of like your own personal healing. So someone else will come into your life and reveal and reflect things to you that you would have never been able to do on your own. Versus like, oh shit, that's obvious. Like I could have handled that myself. I didn't need you to bring that up. You know what I mean? I just feel like the interpersonal healing, the level of interpersonal healing that can be done on your own is very, very different. It will attract in somebody who like literally triggers and initiates like a whole nother layer of healing that you didn't have access to. I don't know how to describe that. I feel like I'm not articulating that properly. Because yes, like people can come into your lives, and yes, in a relationship, you will experience a certain level of healing. What I was saying before is that there's a camp of people who are like, no, you don't need to be healed before you get into a relationship. And the thing is, like, we will never be fully healed. There's no such thing as being fully healed and being constantly happy and constantly perfect. Don't pay attention to these motherfuckers Instagram highlight reels. Don't play yourself thinking that. Because this life is always about learning and growing and progressing. And that's the whole fucking point. When you are 97, you will still be learning shit. You will still be healing in some sort of way. But it's like being entrenched in the throes of healing. That's not how it's always supposed to be, you know? And so there's different varieties of healing that are constantly happening. But, bruh, the healing work you can do for yourself. There's some stuff you can do for yourself that you don't need another fucking person to come and do for you. That's how I'll say that. A lot of us are desiring an intensity, a sweetness, a mutuality from somebody who is just like not necessarily there, not necessarily capable. Doesn't mean that they'll never be capable, but it's like quit trying to, what is it? Squeeze blood from a turnip, some shit. Squeeze blood from a stone, or you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. Please clarify the 6 of Cups. The 8 of Wands and the 6 of Wands. I feel like there's some stuff that's transpiring during this full moon that will be lighting the appropriate fire up under that ass and is going to propel you forward. Propel you forward towards harmony in your body, harmony in your mind, harmony in your heart. It's going to propel you forward to not only harmonizing all those things, but receiving the proper level of recognition and reward and reciprocation that you've been desiring this whole time. It may come by way of someone with Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements. But either way, there is a rebuild, a restructuring afoot. Please clarify the Emperor. The Scorpio full moon, and you know Mars co-rules Scorpio, y'all. There has been a transformation that you've put off, an ending that you've put off, a metamorphosis that you've put off, something that you've been lying your way through, and you've been busying yourself trying to ignore this, just keeping like trying to keep yourself busy, trying to like there is a transformation. Some of you, there is someone with Scorpio or Aries or Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn placements that is like here to transform you. And there's something about that dynamic that you've been like putting off or delaying or ignoring. Some of you, there is like some sort of, oh, my aura ring is low. Okay, I'll charge you later. Leave me alone. Thank you. Please clarify death reversed. The Ace of Swords. We already got a knowing. We already got instructions. You already got the aha moment about like, why are you so comfortable in all this fucking armor? I'm trying to hand you a crown. There's a lot of aha moments that are coming in. And I feel like this is a point in time to get still and quiet so that we can take heed to the new direction that the divine is trying to push us in. And you won't feel like you have to row so much. You'll feel like you have a propeller. You'll feel like you have a propeller. So whatever happens, good or bad, trust and believe that all of it is happening for you because the divine loves you that much. You love you that much that you have acquired the ability to transmute that wound into wisdom, that trauma into fucking triumph, that pain into power. Love you. Got this.